Have you ever looked at a woman and realized she's smiling at you with the same mouth she used to destroy the last guy? Yeah, that moment, that flash of awareness, it hits like cold water. But most men, they blink it away. They ignore it because they're already hooked on the illusion. She looks good. She sounds sweet. So they silence that gut feeling. They lean in. And before they know it, they're tangled up in a situation that's draining the life out of them, and they're still calling it love. Look, not every woman wants a partner. Some want a puppet, some want a fan, some want a man they can mold, weaken, control. They don't come into your life to build something. They come to use, to test, to drain. And if you can't recognize the red flags the moment they appear, you'll be stuck in a cycle of self-doubt, disrespect, and emotional chaos. So today, I'm not here to scare you. I'm not here to bash women. I'm here to protect you, to open your eyes before you give your time, your heart, and your energy to someone who doesn't deserve it. Because when a woman says certain things, and then I mean very specific things, you better believe she's not just speaking out of frustration. She's revealing her entire belief system, and if you miss it, you'll pay the price. Let's get real. Some women will test how much pain you can take, how much disrespect you'll tolerate, and every word out of their mouth is part of that test. So when she says something like, "I don't need a man," understand what she's really saying. She's not talking about independence. She's talking about irrelevance. She's saying, "I want you, maybe, but I don't value what you bring. You're optional. Replaceable." Now, a high-quality woman, someone with real emotional maturity, she doesn't have to announce how independent she is. You feel it in her presence. But when a woman makes a point to tell you she doesn't need a man, what she's really doing is setting the tone. She's building a world where you're already losing before you start. And the more you try to prove yourself, the more she pulls away. Because deep down, she doesn't respect what she doesn't believe she needs. And listen, you could be the kindest, strongest, most well-intentioned man in the room. But if she doesn't respect the masculine, if she sees men as tools, trophies, or threats, then you're not her partner. You're just a placeholder. Walk away. Next, the infamous line, "My ex was toxic." Now I know it sounds harmless. In fact, your protective instincts might kick in. You might feel compelled to be the one who proves not all men are like that. But here's where you need to pause. Not because some exes are terrible, some absolutely are. But because when a woman paints every chapter of her past as someone else's fault, she's telling you something vital. She doesn't do accountability. And if she doesn't own her past, how is she going to handle the future? How is she going to navigate conflict, miscommunication, or compromise? You can't build with someone who thinks they were perfect in every failed relationship. Because guess what? You're not going to be perfect either. And the second you make a mistake, she'll put you in the same villain box as the last guy. Because that's what she knows. That's her pattern. A mature woman might say, "Things didn't work out. We both made mistakes. I learned a lot." That's someone you can build with. But a woman who constantly plays the victim is just setting the stage for you to become her next story of betrayal. Protect yourself. Let's move on to the next one. Have you ever heard, "I need a man who can handle me"? Oh, that one sounds flirty at first, doesn't it? Like she's daring you to step up. Like she's challenging you to prove your strength. But dig deeper. What she's actually saying is this: "I'm going to bring chaos, and I need someone who'll put up with it." Think about that. Why would a grown woman need to be handled? You don't handle your partner like a wild animal. You support her. You grow with her. You respect each other. But some women wear dysfunction like a badge of honor. They think their attitude is cute. They think their sharp tongue is strong. And they think the man who tolerates it is proof of their power. But here's the truth. Real men don't want drama. Real men want peace. And any woman who tries to test your ability to withstand her worst behavior isn't preparing for love. She's preparing for dominance. And the longer you stay, the more she disrespects you for staying. The next one, you're insecure for thinking that. Let's call it what it is: weaponized shame. You bring up a concern. You set a boundary. You say, Hey, I'm not comfortable with that. And instead of a conversation, she slaps you with "you're insecure." This isn't a debate. This is a tactic. It's a way to shut you down before you get too close to the truth. A way to make you doubt your own instincts so she can avoid accountability. A woman who respects you won't gaslight you. She won't call you weak for having standards. She'll meet you halfway. She'll listen. But when a woman uses shame to win, she's not in this to grow. She's in this to dominate. Here's another one that sounds small, but it says so much. Other men want me. Now, why would she say that? Because she's trying to trigger something in you. Jealousy, fear, insecurity. She wants to know if you'll compete, if you'll start proving yourself, if she can get you to chase harder by dangling the idea that someone else could take your spot. Let me say this as clearly as possible. A woman who truly respects you will never try to make you feel like an option. She doesn't need to remind you that she's desirable. She wants to make you feel secure, appreciated, and chosen. If she's playing games like that, she's not looking for love. She's looking for control. Now, have you ever heard of this one? If you don't do it, I'll find someone who will. This is the nuclear red flag. She just told you you're replaceable. And not only that, she's threatening you. That's not a partnership. That's emotional blackmail. That's someone testing how scared you are of being left. And too many men fold. They think, if I just give her what she wants, she'll stay. But here's the catch. Every time you cave to a threat like that, you lose leverage. You lose respect. And you teach her that manipulation works. A woman who genuinely cares about you doesn't need to make ultimatums. She talks. She negotiates. She communicates. But if she starts threatening to replace you, replace her. And finally, this one makes me sick every time I hear it. Real men do this. Oh, you're a real man if you pay for everything. If you put up with her yelling. If you never question her behavior. If you bend and break to meet her standards. Let me be blunt. You don't become a real man by playing by her rules. You become one by setting your own. The moment a woman uses your masculinity as a tool to manipulate you, she's showing you she doesn't value who you are. She only values what she can extract from you. And the more you play into it, the less you feel like a man, and the more you become just another pawn in her game. Listen to me. Being a man is not about proving it to a woman who keeps moving the goalposts. It's about owning your values, standing by your truth, and refusing to compromise your integrity to please someone who doesn't even respect you. Every one of these phrases is a test. Not a test of your strength, but a test of your standards. The question isn't, can you handle her? The question is, will you honor yourself enough to walk away? Because the longer you stay with someone who doesn't respect you, the harder it becomes to remember who you are. You start questioning your instincts. You start shrinking yourself to avoid conflict. You start begging for the very love you deserve freely. But that ends here. You don't need to explain why you won't tolerate disrespect. You don't need to prove your worth to someone who doesn't see it. You only need to remember this. Walk away early or heal late. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.